So this morning, our text is Hebrews 11, and there's this interesting reflection on sort of people of the faith, people of God who have gone before us. Part of Hebrews says, "What more should I say? For time would fail me to tell of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, of David, and Samuel, and the prophets, who through faith conquered kingdoms, administered justice, obtained promises, shut the mouths of lions, quenched raging fire, escaped the edge of the sword, won strength out of weakness, became mighty in war, put foreign armies to fight. Women received their dead by resurrection. Others were so." So there's this like celebration of these amazing things they did, and then it kind of transitions into this. Others were tortured, refusing to accept release in order to obtain a better resurrection. Others suffered mocking and flogging and even chains and imprisonment. They were stoned to death. They were sawn in two. They were killed by the sword. Just fun things to remember here. They went about in skins of sheep and goats, destitute, persecuted, tormented, of whom the world is not worthy. They wandered in deserts and mountains and in caves and holes in the ground. Yet all these, but they were commended for their faith, did not receive what was promised, since God had provided something better, so that they would not, apart from us, be made perfect. So there's the broader context of Hebrews is the celebration that Jesus is the fulfillment of the role of office of priest, that he is the one who has come and lived the perfect life, offered himself as the perfect sacrifice to once and for all create a pathway of atonement and reconciliation of between God and God's people. But this is an interesting text because it sits in it and it stops and it takes time to reflect in the fact that the people of God are people who have, in many ways, from the beginning, been invited to embody a faith in God that is not free, that is not absent from challenge. It's one that is marked with incredible feats, incredible demonstrations of faith, and allowing God to work powerfully through and alongside those who are willing to live out their faith in God. And yet at the same time, those powerful demonstrations, of course, are always sort of magnified, and they become so incredible and powerful against the broader backdrop of challenge. And so the message that to have faith in Christ is to somehow find yourself absent from hardship, absent from challenge, absent from persecution is a false message. And yet, with Christ and through Christ, the one who has created this brilliant grace-filled highway of reconciliation from between us, a broken humanity, and our Creator. Through that, we get to celebrate that our suffering never has the final answer. And for me, this text reminded me that we may find ourselves in moments of challenge. These days, we're all living through unprecedented issues and unprecedented times of challenge and hardship. And yet, I was reminded this morning of the words from the Apostle Paul in Romans 12, where he says, "Rejoice in hope, be patient in suffering, and persevere in prayer." So may we recognize that the faith that Jesus calls us to embody is one that is often sort of celebrated and highlighted and most powerful against the broader backdrop of challenge. This is the part of who we are as God's people. It always has been. And may we be reminded that we do have a hope, an eternal hope in Christ. And may we rejoice in that hope and be patient as we find ourselves almost a year in to shelter in place. It's almost a year. May we be patient in our suffering, and as we rejoice in hope, we're patient in our suffering. May we find ourselves persevering in prayer, in conversation in dialogue with our Creator, who has said, yes, I have conquered death itself. And even though you are suffering now, that doesn't have the final answer. So may you rejoice in hope today. May you be patient in suffering, and may you persevere in prayer.